The craft of negotiation. Contents. 1. Introduction. What counts as a negotiation? 2. Perception in negotiation. Ally or adversary. 3. Ego dynamics in negotiation. 4. The tactical discount. Retention, fairness, and framing. 5. Opening offers and power dynamics. 6. Field maxims. 7. Closing notes. 1. Introduction. What counts as a negotiation? Negotiation is a Machiavellian exercise, yet even people with little strategic polish are forced to do it because life is finite and interests collide. You can try to dodge negotiations and scrape by, but that is all you will do. Weak negotiating is a hallmark of the powerless, not the potent. What is a negotiation in essence? It is a quid pro quo discussion in which two or more parties argue terms until everyone is satisfied enough to proceed. Anyone with basic legal studies will recognize this as the heart of a contract. The aim of any contract is to reach an agreement. An agreement is a mutually beneficial arrangement carried out within a shared framework of terms. Most deals at the personal level occur between two individuals, while institutional deals usually involve more participants. A deal worthy of the name leaves each side believing it is getting what it wants on terms that feel fair rather than harmful. Contrast this with a lopsided deal, better described as coercion, a pact enforced by financial pressure, leverage, or aggressive legal muscle. Machiavellian negotiation seeks the optimal outcome, the most resources and best conditions for the least capital, risk, and responsibility. 2. Perception in negotiation. Ally or adversary. Negotiation is a clash of wants shaped by each side's sense of fairness. Both parties attempt to steer the other's perception so an agreement feels equitable enough to sign. Although negotiation is driven by the pursuit of specific objectives, perception is equally decisive. It shapes not only the quality of the deal, but whether a deal is struck at all. Consider two men, Harry and Bill. Harry grows a rare grape that no one else can source on the continent. Bill, his client, has no unique product but has deep pockets. Money is not as scarce as Harry's grapes, assuming wineries and drinkers prize them. This is a seller's market, which means Harry can set strong prices provided they beat the cost and hassle of importing. When Harry sits down to negotiate, he knows Bill needs his grapes more than he needs Bill's cash. Bill is not his only buyer, and customers prefer local fruit to fragile shipments. Harry also knows that walking away will not hurt him if the offer is poor. In a seller's market, there are many eager buyers, but few sellers who can deliver the desired quality. In a buyer's market, the equation flips. Harry's grapes would fetch little if competitors are plentiful or if demand is weak. In such a case, selling cheap or not at all becomes the reality. In our scenario, it is a seller's market. Harry can tighten pricing and still keep demand healthy. He once sold vines at 90 pence each. After rivals folded, he raised to 80 pence, sold slightly fewer, and earned more because the margin improved. Put simply, Harry moves less volume, but makes more profit because the higher unit price more than offsets the drop in sales. If the price hike cut volume so much that profit fell, he would lower prices to find a profitable volume. He would test price points to find the sweet spot, stopping just before the next increase tips into overpricing and sales plunge. After finding that sweet spot, Harry earns enough extra to keep his grape bubble afloat, while rewarding favourites with the old 90 pence rate. From a position of strength, he bakes preference into pricing. Friends and long-time clients get 90 pence, strangers pay 80 pence, and those he dislikes get nothing. In a seller's market, the buyer has the privilege of buying. The seller is not privileged to sell because demand for the seller's goods outstrips supply. In short, the seller is the scarce asset in a seller's market. The buyer is the scarce asset in a buyer's market. Bill, a winemaker, badly needs Harry's local organic grapes for an expensive label. He is charming and strategic, so he wines and dines Harry, pays the tab, and builds rapport while showcasing his world. The hospitality wins favour. Their friendship yields a mate's rate of 90 pence per vine, boosting Bill's margins. He is pleased that dinners and humour paid off. Then disaster strikes. Harry brings his daughter to dinner. Bill, a jacked 45-year-old womanizer, later matches with her on Tinder. She rebels in textbook fashion and starts seeing her father's wealthy associate. She falls for Bill. He refuses commitment, she tells her father. Harry, enraged, cuts Bill off. Bill offers £10 per vine, well above market, but Harry refuses. At that point, he values hurting Bill more than profiting from him. Perception has turned so toxic that punishment beats profit. Morale. Mutual desire is not enough if contempt is present. Without respect, the desperate party accepts brutal terms or no deal happens at all. In the presence of hatred or revenge, logical outcomes are rejected in favor of satisfaction. Secondary lesson: do not complicate business with sex. Family-adjacent flings can cost you revenue. Income beats impulse. 3. Ego dynamics in negotiation. Entitlement heavily shapes outcomes. A person with strong self-value will often secure at least what they are worth, sometimes more. Someone with low self-worth tends to take less than they deserve. High self-esteem exploits low self-esteem. The confident party's certainty is so persuasive that the insecure party pays more, works harder, or accepts predatory terms. This creates a loop. The narcissist takes it as proof he is worth more, and the insecure person takes it as proof he is worth less. As the proverb goes, whether you believe you can or cannot, you are right. If you do not value yourself or believe you deserve fair pay, you will negotiate poorly and be underpaid. You quietly elevate the other side's worth and give ground you should not. On the flip side, the grandiose narcissist chronically undervalues others and exploits any acceptance of that devaluation. Such people habitually give less than is due and haggle well because they default to discounting everyone else. Many successful businessmen are simply high self-esteem hunters who seek out people with money and low self-esteem. Insecurity is a lucrative commodity to exploit. Picture a ripped trainer on gear in San Francisco selling packages to obese coders and video game addicts. He pushes contracts for the commission, knowing many will not show up. If their money funds his lifestyle and gym, he feels no guilt. He will also target other insecure segments, like older lazy clients who want the feeling of progress without the work. When two low self-worth people negotiate, deals are brief, and each gets about what they are worth. When two high self-worth people negotiate, both still get about what they are worth. But the process is more aggressive, with more tests, dismissals, negging, and pressure flips. Whoever fails a test loses standing, and the winner uses that slip to demand better terms. If neither fails, mutual respect forms, and each concedes the other is worth full value instead of the discount they try to impose by habit. Know the other side's options. Do they have alternatives, or are they dependent on you? If they have none, you can push for the maximum they can afford. If they do, you can frame those alternatives as inferior and appeal to their pride. If they want a lesser service, they can save money with your competitor. Referring a prospect to competitors signals strength, a seller's market posture, and lack of neediness. It resets the entitled customer's mindset, making them more willing to accept your price on your terms. This reverse psychology also pricks the pride of anyone who believes their problem is serious. They are nudged to pay more for a solution that matches the weight of their need. Big problems justify elite solutions. 4. The tactical discount: retention, fairness, and framing. If they have paid but cannot afford to continue, consider a controlled discount to retain them, perhaps 10%, rarely more than 20%. Steep cuts degrade the aura of an elite service. People instinctively doubt premium brands that discount heavily. They start to suspect the offer is fake or of lower quality. The right discount can keep a client inside budget while making them feel privileged. Your generosity flatters their ego and deepens loyalty. If you set your own rates, do not mythologize them. Your number is the intersection of what you will accept and what the market will pay. In a seller's market, or if you can make it feel like one, you aim to capture as much as that mechanism allows. If a customer is about to walk, whether real or bluffing, the goal is to keep them at the highest number they can comfortably pay. The discount gambit feeds pride and keeps revenue flowing at a slightly reduced rate. In a buyer's market, this makes sense because acquiring new buyers is costly and losing one hurts more than trimming margin. Chronic discounters are administrative drag. Offer discounts only when it fits a buyer's market. In a seller's market, replace them and move on. 5. Opening offers and power dynamics. If they open with a price you already like, do not push for more. With highly narcissistic counterparts, this can backfire. They may label you unreasonable, slash the offer, or walk. That is less likely with the insecure, but it is a real risk with the powerful. If the opening number is weak or you are confident you can do better, negotiate. If it is a strong offer, greed can turn a win into a loss, so accept and bank it. Serious buyers make serious opening offers. The customers to avoid are the nickel and dimers who waste your time with endless back and forth. Exception: when dealing with the very powerful, offer to do something free and ask explicitly for a future favour. If they refuse a favour, do it cheaply and bank goodwill. Favours from power are worth more than cash. Money is common. Leverage is not. Many will push you to make the first offer, using it as a probe to measure how much you value yourself and how far they can push you down. To secure the highest return, always signal strong self-worth. Begin with a high price, and you will draw out the maximum they are willing to pay. Most people will offer only 50 to 75% of what you ask, as it makes them feel they secured a bargain. Anticipate this by inflating your opening offer. If you value yourself at $50, ask for $150. Should they counter with $75, you have gained 50% more than your value. If they settle at $100, you have doubled it. The other party never knows your true valuation. That is what they are probing when they push you to go first. By overvaluing yourself, you conceal this information. Faced with an exorbitant figure, they are forced to offer the highest sum they can afford. A generous amount that, though lower than your quote, is far higher than if you had valued yourself modestly. 6. Field maxims. If an unexpectedly strong offer appears, do not show excitement. Keep a cool, entitled tone and test for a little more. If feigned offense gains nothing, drop it and agree with poise. Yes, I find this agreeable beats, that's so awesome. If you suspect you're taking more than you deserve, never reveal it. Keep your face calm and your manner cordial. Remember, if you think you cannot, you will not. Carry yourself as if you belong. 7. Closing notes. As you likely noticed, buyer and seller logic maps neatly onto dating and other human arenas. Negotiation is psychological. Prices, timing, repeat business, and whether a deal happens at all are shaped by perception. There are no hard rules. Everything can be framed. Determine whether you are in a buyer's or seller's market, gauge the other party's narcissism, and negotiate accordingly. Quick bullet points for clarity. Negotiation is psychological. Rates. Time allotted. Whether a deal is made. Whether it is repeat or one-off. All of these hinge on perception rather than fixed rules. Buyer-seller marketing principles applied directly to dating. Determine if you are in a buyer's or seller's market. Gauge the other party's narcissism and adjust your strategy accordingly.